Welcome to today's Daily Walk in Wisdom. Today we're looking at Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 7 through to 12. Again I saw something meaningless under the sun. There was a man all alone. He had neither son nor brother. There was no end to his toil, yet his eyes were not content with his wealth. For whom am I toiling, he asked, and why am I depriving myself of enjoyment? This too is meaningless, a miserable business. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their work. And if one falls down, his friend can help him up. But pity the man who falls and has no one to help him. Also, if two lie down together, they'll keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. And a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. In the beginning, God said, "It's not good for man to be alone." And the teacher is reiterating the truth of that. It is not good for a man to be alone. We're never going to reach our best in isolation. If we're only meant to be spiritual beings, then we'd be satisfied with God alone. But God has set life up so that we need one another, because we're far healthier when we're together. This is one of the reasons why it's foolish for us to think that we can all have our own truth. Everybody wanting your own truth is a harbinger for a breakdown in society, because truth feeds into a system of belief, and every society shares a system of belief. It is truth that has formed the system that we all share in the Western democracies. Biblical truth. To the degree that we share our belief system, we're able to live in harmony. This is why the scripture says, "Do not be unequally yoked together." Without a shared belief system, we would not be able to dwell together and function in relative peace. And we certainly wouldn't be able to have our megalopolises. Think about the level of compliance and partnership required for 5 million or more people in a city to be able to live together in harmony. What makes it possible for a society of predominantly strangers to be able to cohabit the same space without us tearing each other apart? Is it the police? Is it the judicial system? Is it the educational system? Or the political system? Hardly. In every interaction, there's a whole set of expectations that govern what we're doing, shared beliefs that help us feel safe. We all have the expectation that everyone around us will act in a certain manner. I have a great neighbor who lives next door. I'm not concerned about whether he is going to be barging through my door with an axe in his hand. I just have an expectation that he is a man of peace, because he is. And all of us live together with these expectations, respecting one another's boundaries and time and caring for one another. We all do that within the Western society to a high degree, and in any society that occurs to a high level of compliance to a shared belief system. However, sometimes we encounter people out on the streets who don't play by the rules. In times past, they would have been institutionalized, but now they're acting out their pain and suffering in front of everybody. And when you walk past somebody like that who is muttering away to the voices inside their head, perhaps striking out at whatever it is that is plaguing them, how does that make you feel? Generally, you'll avoid eye contact. You'll keep a safe distance between yourself and them, and you hope you won't attract their attention, because they're not part of the world where you have worked out its meaning. and you don't know what they're capable of doing. They're not playing by the rules. They're not cooperating with your perception of reality, nor do they have your value structure. And the teacher talks about this person who is disconnected, any person who is disconnected from the rest of society. And he says, for whatever reason, they're at odds with the rest of the world. And he tells us that that person who is alone has problems because he's isolated and his perception of reality is awry, and he's operating with wrong values, and he's out of sync with the truth, and the result is meaninglessness, and that meaninglessness is dangerous. The teacher then lists the advantages of unity and how they feed into our sense of meaning. He says 2 are better than 1 because they have an exponential increase for their labor, and you'll add a sense of value to your life in a way you never could if you were doing something all alone. Secondly, if you fall into trouble, you've got someone who can lift you up. When someone else sees you as having enough worth for them to render assistance, then you begin to believe in yourself, begin to believe that your life has meaning. It must have meaning because they believe in me. And then he said you should marry because not only will it make a cold world much warmer, but you'll find meaning and growth in each other's arms. The devil got it right when he convinced the priests in the medieval and Catholic church systems to abstain from marriage. Nothing could have been more diabolical for the church and for themselves. Finally, it's always good to have someone who is on your side when you come up against an adversary. When you meet up with an adversary, you find yourself in a crisis. And in times of crisis, people reach for meaning. Your meaning is found as you connect with someone who can help you out. And so also is their meaning found as they're helping you. Or if it's reversed, so also is your meaning found when you're able to help them. If one can put to flight 1,000, 2 can put to flight 10,000. Do you see how much better it is to be with someone than it is to be on your own? It's 10,000 times better, or 10 times better. Suddenly, Solomon leaps from talking about 2s into 3s. He says a 3-stranded cord is not easily broken. That's the Trinity right there. The moment you truly connect with somebody, spirit to spirit, in that instant, God is involved. It's a miracle of sorts, but once you have God involved, you have reached ultimate meaning, and it shall not be broken. Yeah, that's why when you get married, you want to have God involved, so that your covenant shall not be broken. Think about it. The meaning of love one's neighbor is not that it is something that we are commanded to do by God, but it is that through it and in it we meet with God by connecting with another. So there suddenly is formed a 3-stranded cord that is not easily broken, because we, in truly meeting another person, not treating them like they're an it or a something, but genuinely meeting them as someone, eye to eye, face to face, heart to heart, spirit to spirit. In that moment, God is there and we meet with him. And suddenly we've got a 3-stranded cord that is not easily broken. When you connect, when you truly connect with someone, that's a miracle. The effect is amazing. You don't forget true connections ever, because they're so few and far between. Well, God bless you. Look forward to speaking with you again tomorrow. Once more we'll be looking at this mysteriously intriguing, exciting, penetrating book of Ecclesiastes.